They get all purdy.
Matt, I just finished watching Bumblebee again tonight, and that disappointed me even more that Shatter does not have the face that she does in the movie.
All right, welcome everybody. We are live. Welcome to another edition of Transformers Unite. This is going to be called the TFCON edition. As you guys know, TFCON was this last weekend in LA. They had a ton of reveals this weekend at the third-party panel. And there was a lot of stuff that we already saw, but they had good colored images of them, so it made it even more fun. Welcome in, Tech Chucker. So I was there for all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and most of Sunday. Um, it was a nut case place. I will tell you, there is so much stuff to take in, and to try to capture it all is hard. So I did the first night, Friday night, I did a podcast with Vangelis. So we had a kind of a round table of podcasters. Like we were all like random people. Like we had, hey Brian, we had Vangelis. You had me. You had Seth from TFW. We had a couple other guys, and we just had a great time doing it. While as on Saturday, of course, was the main day, the event. That we all were kind of waiting for to see what's going to happen. They had so much stuff there to take in. If you've never been to a TFCon or to a BotCon, highly recommend at least going to one. I mean, at least trying to go to one. BotCon, rest in peace. All we have now is TFCon or TF Nation if you're over in the UK, or Shanghai Con if you're in Shanghai. Definitely, I would recommend going to it. It's a lot of good people to meet up with too. I mean, Matt, you've went just like I have to TFCons before.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of why I went is A, to get some stuff, but B, to meet fans, because I got to meet a lot of guys I've never met in person. Evangelists. I talked to Optobotomist. So there was definitely a lot of people to talk to. But that was my experience.
There are other cons. There's Dairy Con. That's up in Wisconsin. It's a smaller con. There's New Jersey, NJCC, which is not really a Transformer con, but it has a lot of realm in there. And there's one in St. Louis now, or not St. Louis. I'm sorry, in Kansas City. It's blown. I forgot what the name of it is. But there's some different cons and stuff still around, and smaller cons and stuff and everything. Yeah, TFCon, I've been to all the ones except for the LA one. I've been all the ones on the East Coast for about 5 of them, and they're wonderful. I mean, I went to 4 BotCons, and I didn't know anybody. I wasn't deluxe. I wasn't this, reviewer guy, whatever. I wasn't on the podcast and everything. So I just went for the toys. I didn't care who was there. I didn't even really, give a, rat's ass who was there. I wasn't, but I learned too. Once I went to a couple of them, I got to know people. And in TFCon, now I go for the people. I mean, it's just fun to go see everybody. I'm excited it's going back to Reston because that was a really good one. And I suggest if anybody's around that area, definitely go because it's a nice area and it's going to be a great time.
Dude, that's 4 hours away from me. I'm going to this.
Exactly. So I'm excited. I can get to go and yeah, it's a good time. Like you just said, if you have a chance to go to a TFCon and even Toronto, I've even thought about going to Toronto. I've heard it's really nice up there, and the TFCon up there is really good too. So. I'm looking forward to October. I'm excited. Really, I can't wait till the hotels go up and I can get me a hotel and everything. So that's my experience.
The one thing that's annoying about the Toronto TFCon, which I don't blame TFCon itself for it, is people assume because I'm Canadian that I can just go to Toronto and go to TFCon. That's like almost halfway across the country.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the catch. That's the catch-22. It's the same thing in the States too. It's like Chicago when they have TFCon Chicago. That's not just get in my car and go, kind of thing from California. That's a drive. Right. That's a serious drive,
It's a serious flight.
But the same thing is, it's like I can't just physically do that. Just get up and go. There's limitations for things too.
Well, don't you have a magic genie?
Yeah, I do. It's called the internet. I get to watch through you guys.
Yeah, I
Will
mean,
Smith didn't answer my calls. I can't. That's the only Magic Genie I can think of right now.
I am Will Smith.
I mean, it's understandable. I think, like I said before, I think TFCon can handle 3 shows. One for the West Coast for the people, to set their. And I know this one, probably wasn't as successful as the East Coast ones. I don't know. I've heard it. I've heard different things from people. But once I think that they get a couple going out there once every year, and I think they can also run one in Toronto and one on the East Coast. I really, I think this one, this one coming up in October, I think it's going to be really big because it was really big 2 years ago. So I think once they get a foot in the West Coast, I think it's going to be bigger over there for people and everything. So I suggest people, if you get a chance to go, definitely go to one.
Well, and this is kind of set the bar now. I mean, if you think about it,
Yeah.
used to be we had one in the U.S., one in Canada, and that was it.
Hmm.
Now
Yeah.
we're talking we're going to have 3 total this year: one on the West Coast, one on the East Coast, and one in Toronto.
Yeah.
So maybe we're going to start seeing a rotating schedule, sort of like we did with BotCon. BotCon would kind of rotate in places
Hmm.
and stuff too.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're going to start seeing this again. Like I would venture to say probably next year it would be Chicago because we've already had, you'll have LA, you'll have DC area. I would venture to say probably Chicago. But one avenue that could be used is Dallas. Dallas has so many big convention centers out there.
Hmm.
You have Dallas Fan Expo. You've got the fan days. I mean, there's so much down
I would
there that
like
they
to
could
see
do
it
in
in
Texas.
Vancouver or somewhere over here.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
like
To
if
be
you
honest,
had it
oh,
in
sorry.
British Columbia, I mean, it'd be probably even better, for you guys, because I mean, there's so many avenues they could do, especially in Canada. Between you got Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, you've got the Yukon, which I've been through the Yukon. There's not a whole lot there, so that might be a bad place to go. But at least
Yeah,
British Columbia, they'd
you
have a
don't want
better
to try the
option.
Yukon. I'm sorry for anyone that's in the Yukon, but there's not really much there except for roads.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
actually drove from Alaska down through Yukon, through British Columbia, all the way to Seattle and back to Cali, and I was like, yeah, there ain't nothing to do in the Yukon. So you better make sure you got gas.
I mean, for Dallas also, there's an international airport and everything. I would love for Dallas. Dallas is 5 hours away from me, so or Kansas City. I think Kansas City would be a good place. But yeah, Chicago is probably going to be a good nesting ground for TFCon if they want to have one in the Midwest. But I think Texas could really be a good one too. There's a lot of people in Texas.
When was the last Reston one? Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, 17. Mm-hmm.
I actually had plans to go to that one. I had rooms booked. There was like 4 of us going to share a room. And that same week was when I switched jobs. So I lost my vacation. I had to switch everything over, and I had to kind of cancel a week out.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a good area. There's a lot of places to eat. It's a lot of places to shop. If you're going to bring the family, there's a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of you're close to DC, so if you want to bring the family, I think me and my wife are going to go and hopefully spend a couple of days because we like going up to DC, and there's a lot of stuff to do. So it's a really nice area, and it's just a good time. I mean, you're going to have a good time if you go to TFCon and Reston.
Well, it's a straight shot for me. Once I hit 64, it's 81 the entire way. I mean, I'm on one stretch of road.
Yeah. So it's a lot of people. Philadelphia's around that area. There's a lot of big cities in that area. So just looking forward to it. So let's talk about the LA one. How was it? And this was your first TFCon. How was the experience?
It was freaking amazing. I mean, I hadn't been to anything since BotCon, back a long time ago, So
Mhm.
the atmosphere was really nice. I mean, the Chosen Prime was the sponsor, the main sponsor of it. So, and I've known those guys for years, between Brandon and Kim and all those guys. So it was nice actually to put faces to names, because we all do that a lot too. We talk to a lot of people online, but it's nice to actually talk to people in person. Um, Short. It felt a little short though. I mean, like literally, it was Friday afternoon,
It goes by fast.
Saturday, and then Sunday, and that was it. It was only really 2 days,
Yeah.
full. But the panels was freaking awesome. I mean, we watched the Five Faces of Darkness with Flint Dill. Don Bluth, Doug Booth, and let's see who else was there. Marty Oppenheimer was there, and there was one more person that floated in, but it was awesome to sit there. We actually we played all 5 parts of the show of that series, miniseries, but we were talking more about Transformers. We weren't even paying attention to the actual show, So it's kind of cool for a lot of us who haven't got a chance to sit down and talk to these writers or voice actors and ask questions. Now we all get it that it was a regurgitation for a lot of them because it was like you even saw the look on Flint's eyes. He's like, "Yes, I've talked about this for the thousandth time."
Yeah.
It's like, but hey, you got new people here who have questions, And of course, I asked the question. We got into the movie discussion talking about Optimus Prime and Rodimus, Prime and everything, and they talked about the script writing perspective of it, going through it. So I said, was there ever a script where Optimus Prime did not die? No. It took 2 seconds to say that, and it was because they were under that direction, kill Optimus because we have to get a new toy line out. A lot of people don't understand that is that the G1 side of the world, it was a cartoon based upon toys to sell. So when they went to the new series of G1 toys, all the other ones had to go away, which is why the movie happened. The movie happened to kill off the old characters and get new toy stock in. Henceforth, season 3 and the 3 episode season 4. So it was great to see them. But I actually sat down with Don Bluth for about an hour to an hour and a half on Saturday, just sitting down and talking to him about the episodes. And if you don't know who he is, he's the writer that did Dinobot Island and all the Dinobot episodes in T1. And he also wrote Autobot Spike. So, and it was kind of cool because we got to get some of the backgrounds on some of these writers. Like Don is a huge Frankenstein fan. So, henceforth, why he wrote Autobot Spike, because he's a Frankenstein fan. And originally, the Dinobots didn't have those names, he said. They were called Dinosaur. I wonder where that went to. And then it was like Pterodon. He actually used more physical dinosaur names versus names. So, of course, other writers and editors got involved, and we had Grimlock. So Friday, I was able to get Greg Berger's autograph, Grimlock. So I got him to sign it, my record, and then I got Buzz Dixon, who is also one of the most predominant writers of G1. On Saturday, it was get every signature that I could, because a lot of people didn't know that this is the biggest G1 reunion cast they've ever done in a Transformers convention, period. The only two people that we were missing was Frank Welker and Peter Cullen. And of course, Chris Lilly, rest in peace, who passed away a long time ago.
Yeah.
But it was a madhouse, like a serious madhouse in that Saturday. But the cool part is Friday night, all of us premium people, we got in our premium line, we got our badge, we walked in, we got to look at all the exclusives and said, 2 people at a time, come get what you want, Now we could only get one per item on Friday night. Saturday was the mad dash. So of course I got the 1,000 requests, hey, can you get me this? Can you get me that? And I don't mind helping out. This is a convention, and it's like, it takes me 2 seconds to get into a line, because this is not SDCC lines. This is not WonderCon lines. These are not NYCC kind of things. These are, okay, maybe waiting 10 minutes, 20 minutes in a line, to go get it. Now, the autographs, you might wait a half hour. When Bumblebee showed up, that line was from his signing booth all the way back to the opening of the door. And then, of course, over time, that line got shorter and shorter because everybody got their stuff done. Coolest person I met there, and ironically, was not a G1 person. It was David K. I got to meet David K. And we sat there and talked for like 25 minutes just talking about it. Because I had him sign, you guys probably saw it. Got him to sign my Beast Wars Blu-ray, and then I had Ian Collette sign it from his Cheetor. We just had, and he was funny because he's like, I've never watched all the episodes of Beast Wars I've done. it was kind of surprising, but not if you think about it from a voice actor's perspective. A lot of times they do these things and then they're done. They don't really go back and do a
Mhm.
lot of them. It was who was Jack Angel, the voice of Ultra Magnus. He's like, dude, I did these and then I never watched the show. You know, it wasn't until somebody showed it to me in personally. Oh, okay, that's what it is. And it's funny because Jack was talking about Robert Stack's version of Ultra Magnus in the movie. You know, he's like, I
Yeah.
couldn't do that version of him. I wanted to do my own, and I did it. And it to me, it still sounds similar enough. You know, that most kids in the '80s really wouldn't have noticed a lot. You know, now I was going to notice when Orson Welles talked because it's Orson Welles. You know, when he talked as Unicron.
Oh yeah.
Um, but it was a great time. I got a lot of stuff. I mean, you guys saw the haul video I did. I
Mhm.
mean, there was a ton of stuff I was able to get, not just for me, but for other people too. Zero and a couple other guys from TFW. But it was a blast. Got to reconnect with a bunch of friends of mine I've not seen since BotCon. My buddy Alex and Zach, I hadn't seen them since Pasadena BotCon. So it was cool to really catch up with everybody. But I would highly recommend if you get a chance, go out. It's fun. Don't be a hermit. If they have some panels and they have some things to go do, do it. The sad part was is Saturday night was we were supposed to get able to watch Transformers the movie. That
Mhm.
got canceled Saturday. Um, Thanks to our good old buddies Hasbro and their lawyers. And the reason being, people forget this is not a Hasbro sanctioned convention. This is a fan convention, so it's a little different. So there are rules that, hey, sometimes we have to abide by. You know, when Hasbro says you can't do it, we can't do it. But I just thought it was ironic. We watched the Five Faces of Darkness on Friday. They didn't have an issue with that, but they did have an issue with us playing the movie on Saturday. And I
Will it
think
be in the theater, or are you just playing it in the auditorium?
just in the auditorium, we were just sitting in a panel room watching it.
They do.
So
They do
Because
every
we
week.
did that at Sharticon. We had the big auditorium set up with the screening, and they
Yeah,
played the DVD version.
Hasbro wasn't next door to y'all either.
Well,
So
true.
that's
that, yeah, that is kind of catch 22, like literally maybe 3 miles
just crossing.
from TFCON this year was Hasbro's, one of their main offices.
Yeah.
So they walked over, like literally, and that's what I was told is that they literally walked over and said, "We heard what you did last night. You're not doing it tonight." So, but we also have to understand that that happens a lot, you know. And actually, T-Man asked a question: how did Hasbro find out? They send people over. Literally, when they hear Transformers conventions in town, there's always Hasbro people there. You just don't see them. Unless it is a Hasbro event, you know, then it's like okay, whatever. But it was sad because like we were supposed to watch that, go through it. It was going to be cool because they were going to have like Flint Dill, Neil Ross. They were going to have a lot of like combination of writers and voice actors that was supposed to be there, which would have been cool to see them do that with the movie. But they canceled that, so Saturday Night pretty much got canceled. Pretty much, there really wasn't a lot left except for some of the podcast. They had a podcaster panel with John Bailey, who does voice acting. Everybody knows John. Then you've got it was Optimus and Evangelist. They had a podcaster, and then they had Transformers Jeopardy after that. And that was pretty much it for Saturday night. Sunday, it was let's go make a deal day. Let's go make a deal so you ain't gonna take it home day. Um, and of course, the Catch 22. There's some of those dealers that are local, so they weren't making no deals that day on Sunday. They're like, nope, I'm just taking it right back to my store about 20 minutes away. But the ones that weren't there that came from cross country, they wheeled and dealed. Like I got Generations Waspinator for $5. I got Dark of the Moon Shockwave for 9, if I remember right. Um, so there was some great deals there to be had, definitely. And of course, I got some of my grails that I wanted. I've got my APS 01 or APS 03, Human Alliance, Barricade, and Soundwave combo pack. And then I got my G1 Fort Max. So I had been after a G1 Fort Max for years, at a non-kidney price. Um, but I settled and just got the Encore version because They had the G1 there. They had two of them actually. One had the American, one had the Japanese. The American one they wanted 1,500 for. I think the Japanese they wanted almost 2 grand for. And now these are mint in box too, so these aren't just sitting out in the shelf. These are mint in box ones. And I said, no, no, ain't doing it. No. Because to me, it's like, it's a transformer. Nothing should cost that much. No transformer should cost that much. Now, when you do combiners and stuff, that does add up over time. I mean, just look at Toy World Debbie. If you add up the total cost of Toy World Debbie, it gets expensive. But that's the catch-22. I went there, to get some stuff, get some exclusives, help out people. But I had a great time out there.
Yeah, you think you have a lot of time, but yeah, it goes by really quick. And to speak on David Kay, he's a really good dude. He's my first BotCon I went to in 2008. That's when animated come out, and he was Prime, and I got to meet him. He actually came on Shattercast one time. We had an interview with him. I met him at Little Rock Comic Con and everything. I've met him at TFCONs also and everything. And really good dude. He's funny. I watch his YouTube videos all the time and everything. He's a great guy. He's a good dude.
I've met Vangelis like 3 times twice at a toy fair, which wasn't like a panel or anything, and then once at a Comic-Con out here that's coming around again, but I don't think I'm going this year. Just multiple reasons why. But again, he had a panel that time and a booth, but I didn't meet him at either, just him walking around. So I have a couple of his cards in my wallet.
I think I met Vangelis. I haven't met him, but he's been at some of the TFCons. He's whatever. I just haven't met him. I haven't really talked to him. I think I was on a panel with him at one TFCon. It was him and some other podcasters, and I was on the panel with him. But,
God, I wish I could have a panel. That's one thing I really want for myself, is to have a good enough YouTube channel to have a panel somewhere.
I got it just because I was on Shattercast. That's the only reason why. But it was still fun. It was really cool to do. So
all you need is a folding table from Lowe's and get 3 or 4 guys together.
That's true.
Get some poster board.
I do have my podcast.
Say we'll work for podcast money or something. I don't know.
Well, and that's kind of how it was for us Friday night. Like literally, and I showed up there, and they're like, and I got asked before, before I even came, hey, do you want to be part of a podcast? And I said, sure. And so literally showed up, walked on, and we did it for an hour, and then it was over. But I will say it was fun to actually be able to talk to those guys in person. Like when you talk to somebody in person, it's a lot different than internet, because the way the internet works is opinions or comments might get misconstrued. You might not understand the intentions behind them. But when you talk to the person face to face, it's a big difference. And people need to remember 2 things. We're all people. We all make mistakes, and to just try to work it out when you can, So we talked through a couple of issues that happened before, on the boards and forums and stuff. But it all comes down to a lot of misconceptions and a lot of miscommunication. So it was nice to be able to just sit down with normal people, and talk about Transformers. We talked about Transformers. We talked about food. We talked about a lot of stuff on that podcast. It's funny how they just they start here, they go, and by the time you get done, you're like, okay, Q&A time, what y'all got,
Mm-hmm.
But if you get a chance, I did make a TFCON playlist. I put everything in there, including the podcast. I did with Angeles. The live stream I did on Saturday, and then the other 3 videos from the con. I figured it'd be easier just to do it that way than trying to individually go to Facebook and put episode this, episode that. No, I just did a complete playlist because it was a whole weekend deal.
Mm-hmm.
I just made a drone. That's all I've done. So I know I'm messing with Megatron, and it might seem like I'm not concentrating on what you're talking about. It's just I just got this thing, and I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, no worries, man. I'm the same way. I got a lot of toys to play with. I have not even had. I mean, I barely had enough time to open some of these guys. But
So,
I will tell you, out of everything that I got, other than the Fort Max, this guy is freaking phenomenal. I've never had this guy before. You know, the Striker Manifold.
Oh yeah,
Um, oh, this guy's fantastic. I cannot wait until that Striker Manus premium version comes out next month.
yeah. The
Um,
articulation is
um,
wonderful.
I, I need to mention this because you mentioned playing with figures. I once mentioned it, and some people made fun of the fact that, oh, you play with toys? Well, I don't want to be bored looking at them. I like to mess with my stuff. I like to play with them.
Hey,
Bug
don't
Crusher,
forget
Megatron, go after some dragons. I don't know.
you guys are playing with these high dollar toys, and I've got this little bot thing I'm fooling around with. So.
Well, that's quality.
hey, I finally found my little bot I was looking everywhere for.
I got that one. That's the only bot I got. But the camera dude, I had to.
Yeah, I mean, that was the catch. Was like, it was. I don't know how it was when you were there, Matt, for exclusives and stuff. Um, like I said, the first night they let us go through, they let us get one each, which of course I got, you know, Delta Magnus, and then I got the G2 Starscreamer, which I haven't even opened yet. But I'll show you what it looks like.
Yeah, I got one coming to me. I got picked up one for me.
So it comes in this huge G2 package. I mean,
Gee.
you can see this is how big it is, so to speak.
Mhm.
So this thing is friggin' G2 goodness. That's what this is. You know, it's funny because this was the 35th anniversary of G1 reunion, is what they called it. They might as well call it a G1 G2 convention because all the exclusives were G2 pretty much, except for Delta. But what was cool was the little announcement on the back of it of what was coming out. You've got Acid Storm, Sunstorm. You've got the Brown gun, the Brown. What's his name? Not Hound, Reflector, and then it was cool to see this guy because if you don't know who that guy is,
Bellhawk.
yeah, and that's going to be a recolor of the Galaxy Meteor that came out. So that thing's just going to be hung on my wall. I'm going to put a nail in the wall. I'm just going to hang it because it's going to be one of those things. It's like, I don't know what to do with that.
Well, now I want that Acid Storm. Acid Storm's one of my favorites.
Yeah, the bad part, though, is like that Sunstorm was a crowd funded. So if you didn't get in on that crowdfunder for that Sunstorm, you're not getting it. So which kind of sucks is I really wanted that one. I wanted that one. I want the Acid Storm. Hopefully they'll come out with more. The one that really kind of slept on everybody was this guy. Was the G2 Inferno. They only made 75 of these, and they sold out by I think it was like doors opened at 9. I think they sold it by 11 o'clock on Saturday. All 75 are gone. And then of course it has the same thing on the back as far as what's coming out. So
I
of
love
course
that packaging.
I do too. I mean I wish I still had my old G2 Starscream because I had it in a bubble.
G2's really making a comeback. I sat on this guy forever before I finally picked him up, and I've been really impressed with him. And that's because of you, Matt. It was your review that made me finally get this guy.
Okay, good. I'm not the only one who thought about the shoulder cannon thing.
Well, no, since he's G2, he has to have that shoulder cannon on top. So
Exactly.
that way he looks different than my Megatron I got him set beside.
I'm glad that we've been seeing more of G2. I think there's an announcement of, well, not an announcement, but there was a rumor list of a pack with Siege Sideswipe. And with all the weapons and stuff, I feel like that's going to be a G2 redeco as well.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of rumblings about that through the Rover Mill on TFW talking about a G2 side swipe, which I'm all for because I love the G2 Masterpiece side swipe that came out. I just need that little upgrade kit that comes with it, that makes the bandolier.
It makes him look like his
But
comic book version.
yeah, it does. I mean, it really does.
I think the only other I have the two G2 Megatrons. That's all the G2 I have in my collection. I've got the giant tank and the little blue Nerf gun, Nerf rocket launcher.
Oh, that reminds me. I want to see this in the bludgeon repaint.
That would be nice. I had the bludgeon one and then sold the bludgeon one when I got a Megatron because I got fooled on eBay years and years ago and I wasn't sure what I was looking for. When I was still a noob at collecting.
There was a KB reissue or issue of that with the Nerf one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one the bludgeon.
If I remember correctly, he had like a red visor painted across both eyes.
I have the KB one. Yeah, it's KB. Whatever. Yeah, I don't have very much G2, but that G2 Inferno, man, it's the same mold. All you got was that little Nerf thing and so a couple of little hands or whatever eye change outs or something. So I was like, I don't think that's worth it for $130. But that's just me.
I think the packaging alone is worth it.
I got the Starscream. It's coming to me, so I'm excited about that because it's Starscream. So that's the only one I wanted. There wasn't and you were talking about exclusive. There wasn't that many exclusives, man. And on the East Coast ones, man, MMC always has a lot of stuff. Make Toys and stuff. There's a lot of exclusives over there, and this one only had like 3, and that was really weird. Like I was expecting to see more exclusives, but
oops,
that many.
Hey,
well, that's the thing was here. You had Delta Manus, you had him, and then of course you had Wild Rider, the G2 Wild Rider. And I know you just did a review on this, but
I love those.
I will say 2 things about this guy. He's freaking amazing. And also, you got to be damn careful or you're going to lose those little bitty pieces off of his sides. I literally, in my box, I was looking, it's these little bitty things. I don't even know if it's going to show up. It's like right here.
His mirrors or?
No, it's these little bitty things right here.
Oh, mine are fine, I guess. I didn't have any problems with mine.
Yeah, both of mine were out of the box. They were in the bag, luckily. And of course, what happens when you open the bag? Yeah, I dropped one and it took me 30 minutes almost to find it.
Yeah. Dude, imagine dropping the new age Bumblebee, that little Bumblebee. Imagine that little gun he comes with. I dropped that one time and it took me forever. I almost gave up. I was like, fuck it, I don't want the gun anymore. But it took me forever. I mean, that thing is just so tight. It's a black gun, and I dropped it. I knew once I got that out of the box, I was like, yep, I'm going to drop this. I know I am. I'm not going to find it.
Real quick, side note, T-Man just commented, it just occurred to me that Brian is the only guy on this panel without a country accent. Brian, we have to tell you to work on that a little bit.
Yep.
You need to get her done.
There you go.
Countryside.
Now, wait a minute. We're starting to get offensive.
Don't worry. I'll make an apology video on YouTube and people will say, no, not good enough.
Yeah, that is the funny part is like other than Brian, all of us is from the South originally, so that's a big difference,
You're right?
His panel fell off too, is what he said. I guess mine didn't fall off. Mine was fine. I mean, I transformed it back a couple times, and it's it's so ugly. It's beautiful. I love the original anyways because I'm all in on the X-Trans bots. I'm really happy with what they're doing now. Ever since they've done Klaatu, their Cosmos, they've been really good. And this Stunticon set, I'm really excited for. I can't wait for them to come out. All of them come out, and the G2 one too. I'm excited. It's just like I said, they're so ugly. It's beautiful. It's a good set so far.
So good. That's a good segue for our next conversation, and that is the reveals from the third-party panel from TFCON. So There was a lot that was shown, especially from Fans Toys. Fans Toys, of course, showed off, some more of their Minosaur as well as their Superion.
Hmm.
And the shocking thing was that it's going to be two versions in one.
Yeah.
It's going to have a Studio Ox version as well as a G1 version, which I think for a lot of us, that works freaking amazing because the issue we have with a lot of companies right now is you have one doing an Ox version, you have one doing a G1, then you have one that's
Mhm.
kind of in the middle, in the mix, so it's kind of nice to have an option. Now, this is Fans Toys. Fans Toys. Um, that we got to talk about is that do we know when it's going to come out? Is it going to take 6 years to come out? Who knows? But I would assume, just based upon what they showed at the panel, we're going to see at least two or three of those Stunticons and two or three of those aerial bots this year.
Yeah,
Um,
Motor Master looks like he's ready to come out already. I think Motor Master looks really close.
yeah, especially with the color renders they had of
Hmm.
that one.
Yeah.
I mean, other than having a pre-production copy in TFCon, it looked like it was ready to go. And of course, I asked the stupid question, like always, where the hell is my Blitzwing that's been back ordered for 2.5 years?
He'll never
You
see
know,
that. He'll never see
and
that.
no, I know, but I don't want Chigger though. I don't want DX9's Chigger or KFC's thing. I don't want none of them. I want a good Blitzwing.
Yeah. No, I mean I understand. Yeah. And with the Stunticons, I wonder if they're going to do what Zeta did. Zeta did, they put out a couple of one, and then they put out a couple of another. I wonder if they're going to switch. If they're going to all put out, the Stunticons at once, or are they going to do the switch up, all that stuff. And yeah, like you said, to have the Studio Ox option is really cool. I think that's a good nod. I think we'll see I think we'll definitely see the combiners, but we saw Astro Train. They showed Astro Train. I think that was probably one of the best things that came out. And I want an Astro Train. I really do. But I don't, what they did with Blitzwing, I don't think we're going to see it. But I could be wrong. I really hope I am wrong, and I hope we do get it. But what they did with Blitzwing, they couldn't make it. They couldn't make it right. Why do you think they could do Astro Train? It's like I don't know.
Well, and we needed an Astro Train bad because nobody was happy with the Toy World Evila Star,
Oh
and
yeah.
nobody was happy with the other one either, because it wasn't accurate enough to G1. Now, I will say, I think they did learn from Quietus, when they gave the extra options to him
Hmm.
for
Yeah.
Cyclonus. That was kind of the opening door, I think, is why they're going to start doing these alternates, but it's in the same box, which of course might drive the price up a little bit more too. So people have to be cognizant about that. Now, I tell you what would be shocking as hell, it'll never happen, is if they just sell the set. Like literally it comes out as a box set. You get aerial bots and then you get
Mhm.
Stunticons. Um, I don't think it's ever going to happen. It's Fans Toys, but it would be cool if they did it because Toy World is just getting ready to reissue their constructor with all the extra pieces, all the chrome pieces, all the extra parts and stuff. So can't wait for mine to get here because I've not got a Toy World. I didn't get the original Toy World Debbie because I didn't like some of the pieces on it. But now, after seeing it in person, I saw it this weekend. I was sold. I was like, dude, I'm ready to take that thing home today and bring it home but they wouldn't let me do that. But one of the other things they did show off there too was Fans Toys Brawn, Fans Toys Beachcomber as well, which looked freaking
And Warpath.
amazing
And Warpath too.
in Warpath.
Oh,
We
yeah.
knew a little bit about Warpath. We've seen some images before, but it was
Yeah,
kind
we
of
seen all
nice.
three of them
Warpath.
actually. Yeah, we saw they saw on the last TFCon in October. They did show all those, but now they look like they're a little further along. So yeah, I'm really I can already see people posting up their X-Trans box, Beachcomber, and their Bad Cube, all that stuff. They're all posting all this stuff for sale. So yeah,
Yeah, see, I might go get the Arcos, the G2 Arcos, just for a G2 shelf. I might
nice.
go in
Yeah,
on those and then just wait for the Fans Toys one. Same way
that'd be
with
pretty cool.
Bad Cube Brawny. That thing was a nightmare, just as bad as the Warpath from Bad Cube to transform. So I'm glad I
Yeah.
never bought those because I messed with it. I transformed it War Dog once. I mean, that was the worst thing I've ever transformed in my life. That was worse than Rouge. That was worse than
Yeah.
Coot, and everything. I never want to see a Bad Cube like that again.
Yeah, it is bad.
My friends call
Now,
that company Badooby because the C is out of frame from the rest of the wording, so it just looks like it says Badooby.
but we did have some other cool reveals there too, though. I mean, they showed Fans Hobby showed off their Super Armada or Armada Super Optimus Prime, which
Yay!
I'm all in for. I am so excited to get that because I loved RID and Car Robots, as far as the show. They had some cool Transformers. I mean, to even to this day, that combining Optimus with Overload and Jetfire, that was always a fun
Robots in Disguise or Armada?
That was Armada. Yeah.
Yeah.
or um, but the catch 22 is when I saw that like little silhouette of that, I was like, that's gonna have three Transformers into it,
Oh,
and
it's
it's
gonna
the
be huge.
that's gonna be freaking massive. If
Yeah.
they even the Fans Hobby guys are like, dude, this is gonna be the biggest thing we've ever built, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. They got, if you're talking about Power Baser, then you had their Overlord, which is huge. This thing is going to be Overlord size, maybe even probably bigger. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be even fun to play with because it's going to be so big. Like it's not, are you going to be able to move it, or is it just going to look good sitting? Is it going to look good sitting there and stuff? So I don't know. I mean, I'm happy. I love Armada. I think it's pretty cool. I think they got some good designs and some good figures in that line. But man, that thing is going to be huge.
I do
Where are you
want
going
to
to put it? I mean,
I do want to see what the Takara one's gonna look like when that comes out. But I'm so happy that with the Cybertron Seekers and now this and whatnot, I'm so happy that we're getting into the realm of not G1 but like Armada, Energon, Cybertron. I'm hoping that eventually we'll get a Demolisher.
Well, and I think that's the sad part is that I picked up Fans Hobbies Scourge this weekend with this trailer. Nobody has made the Optimus yet, to go with that, or Ultra Magnus yet. Nobody's made the Megatron yet from RID. We definitely need that. Now, I can guarantee you two things, though. If they're coming out with Optimus from Armada, a Megatron is coming. And then it means a repaint into Galvatron. It's going to be done. Or possibly a Power Leaks, color of Optimus Prime in them as well. But I got a feeling it's going to be similar to that whole situation that KFC had, where they're going to have three parts for sale. Where they're doing their what's it called? Their Power Master Optimus Prime with the God Armor. They're separated into three. Reiju or Raju or whatever it's called. I got a feeling Fans Hobby's going to have to do the same thing. They're probably going to sell them three separately. That's probably going to just be the combined version. But that does open up a lot of doors, though. I mean, if we can start doing that, then maybe we can see a Unicron, done. Because, they had a Unicron.
They teased the Unicron. Did y'all not say that? They teased something like it's like a drawing, like a Fans Hobby did tease it, and he's holding no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Fans Hobby. It might be Zeta because he's holding the Zeta, the helicopter, not Blades, but Vortex. He's holding Vortex. So I don't know. It might have been just something, a teaser. It might have been, April Fool's thing or something. I don't know. But we did see I mean, I would love, if they just did the barge, from Star Wars, everybody's getting that in now. I would love if Hasbro or something did a fundraiser or a fun, crowdfunding thing for Unicron. I would definitely be in on that.
I wonder with the Optimus Prime coming out, they're going to do like maybe the yellow repaint as well as like an exclusive, like an obscure thing. Because wasn't there like a...
That was a Sam's Club version, if I remember correctly.
Sam's Club, yeah. And with the Unicron thing, I want to see Primus.
Yes, and we actually need a Primus to scale, not shorter than Unicron, too.
I don't mind Primus being a little bit short. I don't mind the good guys being like having a bit of a disadvantage because it makes them look like when they come out successful, they look more heroic to me, I guess. So,
yeah, Optimus Prime's always been shorter than Megatron, I think, in my eyes, and a lot of people. Not much, but just a little teeny bit.
Yeah.
Everything. So yeah. So yeah, I could see Primus being a little smaller than Unicron, I guess. So,
I just like big, big bots, so to
big butts
speak.
and cannot lie.
Exactly. It's like, that's why I bought a Mega Fan Toys and Mega Supreme. I love big bots like that.
Mhm.
You know,
I
Yeah,
like
that's
big booty.
it's but there were some other reveals too. There was a new company called Banana Power, which was funny as hell when they showed up at the panel. Banana Power, and it is and they're non-transformable. They're display pieces on something like what Flames Toys is doing with Tarn and Drift
yeah.
and them. And and I will say I saw that Star Saber in person, and I almost pre-ordered it on the spot. That thing looked freaking amazing
Which
in
one?
person.
Oh, the Flames toys.
Flames Toy Star
Yeah,
Saber.
I have two. I have the Drift, and I have the Tarn, and they are beautiful. They don't transform, but they are so articulated. The paint is perfect. I mean, if they could make a transformer transform like this from Fans Hobby, or yeah, or Flames Toys. I'm sorry, not Fans Hobby. Jesus. Yeah, it's a wonderful piece. Both of them are really nice. So yeah, that yeah, it does look good. I heard. I was listening to the Into the Rim last night, and they was talking about the display piece, which is so beautiful. Like they wanted to grab it. Like he said, if I wasn't so fat, I would just grab it and ran.
I believe that I've actually seen the Tarn prototype, but I can't remember if it was that exact figure. It was at the Comic Con last year. That's out here, the Capital City Comic Con.
Nice.
I will tell you, I played with that Star Saber, and I was like, "Holy crap!" And then I said, "So when's Victory Leo coming out?" Because this opens up another discussion. Is that you can't have one without the other with Star
Right.
Saber. And if you know a Victory Leo's coming out, you're gonna have to get it, and that's an investment. That's a serious investment for those
They have
two.
one coming out with them. Actually, they'll combine with them. So
Yes, and it's going to be a little over $1,000 too. You
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I think the Star Saber's 400. I
Yeah.
think give or take. I
Yep.
paid 400 for Tarn, and yeah, so yeah, it's going to be an investment. Now, did you see they have some of their own projects they're working on? Like it was like an eagle or something or something.
They
Did you
did.
see some of that stuff?
I did. I saw the little eagle thing. I played with that a little bit. I mean, it was highly articulated for this little
Yeah.
thing, and it does transform too into
Yeah.
its own little thing. It was really cool. It kind of reminds me of like when KFC used to do those things, like their cassettatron. Like when they would do
Yeah.
their own
Mhm.
little thing, like they would go out and do it. Like I got that Stinger from KFC Toys,
Yeah. The
and
little
it,
little guy. Yeah.
yeah, it
Mhm.
was fun to play with. It was highly articulated for what it was.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that looks so amazing. I'm like, I don't want to go down another rabbit hole of
Right.
something
Yeah.
that I
No, I got
don't.
you. Yeah.
It's just like,
Did you?
but it's the same thing with flame toys. I mean, I've done it with the model kits. I just got another one. I got
Yeah.
the black Nemesis Prime.
Hmm.
Which I do got to give a shout out to the Chosen Prime. I pre-ordered that thing probably 2.5 months ago. And they had it first. They finally got it to be able to release it to people at TFCON. I showed up, talked to Brandon. Hey, you got it on there? He said, "Dude, take it. You've already paid for it. Take it and take it home. Don't worry about it." They did that for a lot of people that are like, if you've already paid for something that was at the con, they let you take it home. There was
Nice.
no questions asked. And to me, that's some freaking awesome customer service. Because a lot of people are like, "Oh no, you got to wait till you get home, get your pre-orders." And it's like, no, dude, it's on the shelf. Take it and go home. You've
Yeah.
already paid for it. Same way with this guy. You know, the reissue of Rider Despotron. This thing
That's a
was
great.
sold out for a long time.
That's a great
So
one. I want the Jetfire. I need the Jetfire. That's the only one I need is the Jetfire
Hey,
one.
I discount that.
But I saw. Did you get to? And I'm also looking forward to the 3A stuff. Did you get a chance to look at the Bumblebee and the Blitzwing? Did you get a chance to look at that stuff?
I did. The
Okay.
Blitzwing looked phenomenal in person. I messed around with the 3A Bumblebee movie, Bumblebee.
Hmm.
That thing was amazing. I mean, it's the articulation and just the design and what they did with it was amazing. I just like it goes back to display versus transform, and then of course cost. You know, for three, because 3A is not cheap. You know, and a lot of their stuff.
I mean, the Bumblebee's reasonable, 135. I think the Blitzwing is kind of it's 189 or something, but it's huge.
I mean, literally, the wingspan was like this wide. You know, just for swing, and
Nice.
it's like this tall.
I'm definitely in for the B. I don't know about the Blitzwing, but it does look really good. I'm going to be honest. But I've seen people. I think you could buy it there. I've seen somebody purchase one, and that B looks really good. So I'm definitely probably in with the B.
Well, they all sold out before we even got
Oh,
inside the door Saturday. Literally, they sold out. And I'm actually happy about this. You know, it's like it sucks that like a lot of the fans didn't get a chance to go and buy it. But a lot of the event people that worked there were able to go buy some stuff before the actual con started. So I was talking to Boris. If you don't, Boris helps run ages 3 and up. You know, up in Canada. Boris was able to get one of those 3A bumblebees. And I was glad he was able to get something because he was working the con the whole time. Like, dude, these guys were sitting on the floor 10, 12 hours a day, you know, selling stuff, just talking to people and interacting. So I'm happy they got to get some stuff too, you know, because usually they're always helping us. You know, it's nice to help them out too. Kind of what I did is I donated a Masterpiece Soundwave to the Chosen Prime while I was there to do as a raffle giveaway. So that was kind of the catch-22. I was glad to be able to help them out because they've helped me out so much, I mean, throughout the years.
Yeah. That's cool. Very nice of you. Good job. Keep your name out there, man. Yeah.
Hey, and it's funny. I mean, while I was there, I talked to like 20 or 30 different people that I never knew ever at all. They're like, dude, we've been watching your channel for years. I'm like, that's awesome. What's your name on YouTube? Because I have no idea who you really are.
I get that when I go to TFCON, people come to me like they know me mainly from Shattercast and everything, and they like they call me hey Deluxe, and I'm like I don't know you, sorry. I mean that's understandable. I mean there's a lot of people and everything, so yeah, it's always cool to have somebody come up and say they really like your work and everything. It's really humble and everything. I really feel good about that.
I've had it happen to me at the toy fair, and you kind of hope for that to happen, but at the same time, when it happens, you're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, so we're just regular people. I mean, I'm just a regular guy, just like anybody else going to a con. I've had people like the last one in Chicago. There was a guy. I've said this on Shattercast. He's like, man, I was going through a lot of stuff. My dad passed away and all that stuff, and I was going through a rough time. Your Shattercast really got me through a lot of that stuff, and that really hit me hard. I mean, that's really cool. That we're just basic guys. Just talking about Transformers. Just shitting shooting the shit. And this guy, actually said, y'all got me through a rough time. That made me feel really good. Touched my soul. So shout out to that guy.
I need to actually sit down and watch Shattercast. And I don't actually listen to a lot of podcasts, honestly. It's not like podcasts are bad. It's just I don't know.
No, yeah, you have to make time for it. It's time consuming sometimes. There's a lot of podcasts out there. Some good ones out there too.
Yeah.
Well, and that's catch. It's like I try to catch what I can, especially with Shattercast. I can download that to my phone. I can listen to that later.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We're on. We're not just on YouTube. We're on. Podbean and all that other stuff. Apple, all good stuff. But
and that's what's kind of good about us being YouTubers, though. I mean, I get to talk to a lot of YouTubers there while I was at TFCON, and a lot of them they were having issues just trying to like get past 100 subscribers. And then so I was actually able to sit down with a couple of them and look at some of the stuff they were doing, and I'm like, here's some of your issues. A, lighting, big thing. 2, phone
display.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and not just that is a lot of people's phones they could only do 480p, or they could only do a really low 320p on some of them. Like, if nobody can see your video, they're not going to watch it.
What gets me is that people who like film it on their bed and they got the figure and the figure's like half of it's out of frame and you can't really see what's going on, and every time they got their hands like right in front of the camera hitting it.
My biggest thing is I had a guy one time message me and wanted me to give him some pointers. And so I watched his video. This dude had the most disgusting hands I've ever seen in my life. It's like, I don't know, it's like he works on cars for a living and thought, I don't need to wash up before I review this figure. And I just couldn't get past the review because his hands were damn disgusting. And when I called him out on that, he cussed me out and lost a subscriber. But yeah.
If you're not gonna take the criticism, then
don't ask.
Yeah.
It's not a fault that you ask for criticism.
There was one video I was doing one time. I wasn't paying attention. I just watched the TV show. I was munching on some snacks to get up the video and realized I had Cheeto dust all over my fingers. I had to reshoot the whole thing. I was like, I will not be airing that.
That should have been an outtake video. That's what that should have been. You know, an extra. Sort of like what Matt's been doing with his videos lately, where he puts his scoop ups in the beginning.
Oh yeah, I'll always have something in front of that because, I mean, and y'all know that. Y'all just sitting there talking, and and like I said, at one of them, I was like, you're thinking of so much stuff to say about it, and then when you actually speak it, it just like blah 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 blah, blah. Like it just comes out. You're just like, what? So yeah, I will always have. I just thought I'd throw that in. I thought it'd be funny. People have done it before, and everything, and I just thought it'd be pretty cool just to try that. Jason, you've done, with your, you've done your outtakes and everything, all that stuff. So
I don't share those on YouTube though. I ought to put more of them on here. I mainly put those on my Facebook page. You guys wouldn't believe the ones I went through the other day doing that alligator infomercial.
Yeah, but it's fun. It just shows that it takes a lot of work sometimes. It's not hard or anything, but there's some good work into putting doing this, making content and everything and all that stuff. So it just shows that we have vulnerable, we're just, I don't know. But anyways, I think it's fun. I think it's funny. I think it adds something to a review and everything. I've gotten some positive feedbacks and everything. So
the first time you did it, I thought my YouTube was screwed up. And I jumped ahead on your video.
Yeah,
hip hop intro or whatever the song is, and all of a sudden here it is. Just there you are talking.
Yeah, I don't know if I need to try to change intros or not. Man, I like the intro. I think it's kind of dubstep kind of thing.
It's you.
Well, and that's kind of the thing about doing the YouTube the way we do it is like we get into a rhythm of how we do things. Intro, what your content is, and then there's an outro, or you add something to the end or whatnot. I mean, but that was always how we are. Like for Matt's, I wouldn't change a thing. That's who you are. That's what I'm used to seeing every time. Same way with Jason, same way with Brian. I'm so used to seeing what you guys have. When it's changed up, you're like, holy shit. It kind of like, oh, what happened? It's like, did something happen? Or I mean, I tell you a good example is T-Man. T-Man used to have an old intro, and then he reinvented it and did a new one. Then he added his click the video thing at the end, And it kind of reinvented his channel a little bit, And sometimes you got to do that. You really do have to reinvent your channel a little bit to keep it, kind of fresh. But you don't want to take away so much to where they don't know who you are anymore either, So it's definitely a weighing game. I'll tell you, the criticism I got when I first started, holy shit, man. I mean, they're like, you can't talk worth a damn. You are a redneck. Go back to the hillbilly land. And I said, I don't care. But I will say I had some great criticisms from T-Man. I had some, and from Geeked Up, a couple of guys on the Syndicate, and Dog Reviews, and a couple of guys. A lot of them gave me some good criticisms to make it better, and you got to take those bad ones, but you also got to take the good ones, because the good ones is going to help you grow with your channel.
I have a actual script when working on my reviews, or at least the Canadian reviewer ones, not the more basic, just shoot these out pretty much reviews, like my full-on opinion, no jokes or anything like that. Anyways, even then I'll mess things up. There's one point where I'm doing the whole articulation thing, and I say one thing twice, and I'm just like,
yeah, I do that a lot. I repeat myself a lot sometimes.
But I don't really post the outtakes, mostly because I don't really I try to just use the clips that, because the way I do it, I I have the camera looking at the script as I'm reading each line. And then in between lines, I'll just black out the camera and then go back to it. So I'll just grab the clips that I need to use. So rarely do I have any use for the bloopers. I would like to post more bloopers on something, more outtakes, but they just eventually get lost with whatever I'm doing. Because most of most of it is just flubs anyways. Me messing up with the line, and it's not really entertaining at all. It's just me going, yeah.
I mean, you say that, but you never know, man. I mean, the ones I'm doing are just mess ups and everything. And you were talking about Nate, you were talking about your accent and everything. I've gotten so many responses or whatever positive feedback about my accent and everything. Like, man, it's so smoothing, it's just smooth, just relaxing kind of voice, and everything. So I've not really had any negative stuff about my accent that I could think of.
I get you talk like that guy from King of the Hill all the time.
Hank Hill.
Hey, God damn it, Bobby.
John Redcorn?
At least you don't talk fast to me like Boomhauer.
Yeah, I do a whole review like that.
But I don't get a lot of negative stuff. And if I do, it's something about my weight or something that's like, yeah, I've never heard that before. Yeah, I've never heard a fat joke, but whatever. And I usually just delete them and be like, I don't have time for that.
If it makes you feel any better, I've been called fat, but I'm like very skinny.
Right. Yeah. No, it doesn't bother me. I just delete them and whatever. I don't care. I don't have time to mess with that. There's too much negativity in this fandom anyways. I don't want to feed it. I don't care. Like whatever. Thank you for this. Thank you for the view. Move on. And that's about it.
Well, and that's the thing is people can't take things personally. I mean that's very hard a lot of times too. Is that when you have comments like that, you've got to take it as a grain of salt. This is somebody's opinion. It doesn't really matter, as far as when they're sending negativity to you. Delete the comment and go on.
Or sometimes it's just someone being a dick. That's why I don't listen to, or I don't really care about dislikes. Because it doesn't say anything critical about the video. You don't know if it's just a troll doing anything. So it's like, it's pretty much just a waste of my time if I focus too much on it.
Yeah, it still counts. If you get a dislike, it still counts. Like I said, it's a view and
it's a view.
There's people that will mass dislike my videos, and I'm just like, thank you. You've watched all these videos, you moron.
Well, you guys can imagine the negative comments I get with my channel's name, the shirt I wear, all this, especially with today's political climate. So yeah, I do a lot of deleting.
Well, they're communists, so fuck them guys. You don't like America, you can kiss my ass.
What you got against communism? No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of the catch-22 is we've got so politically correct on a lot of things we do in our lives, that you can't really do nothing now. I mean, that's the thing. You just got to blow that kind of stuff off. Be who you are and screw what everybody else thinks, really. Seriously.
You were born in a country. You were born in a country.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, be yourself, because, when you start treating this like a job and people can tell, the viewers can tell that, you're just going through the motions. That's when, just for me, I don't speak for anybody else. That's when I'll probably quit. I'll hang it up. Be like, I'm not having fun anymore. I'm treating it as a job. So, the reason why I started this is because I wanted to have fun. I wanted to, bring smiles and, enjoy to people in this negative community, and something positive, So, yeah, once I start treating it like that, I'll just hang it up and won't do it anymore.
I kind of got myself the other day. I was at Walmart and I saw a figure I wasn't really that interested in, but I thought, I need to buy this so I can review it. And then I stopped. I was like, no, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm just not going to buy stuff just to review. So,
I had some people assume that I'm just on YouTube to make money or something like that. Like it's all a game for me. And that's pretty much it. Like sometimes they'll say, don't get so high and mighty because you have this many subscribers, or there's one person that what was it? It was something about exactly what I was reviewing and how it's all a game and I shouldn't do that. But I do YouTube because I want to entertain people. That's pretty much it. There's not much else to really look into. You know, sometimes, yeah, it's cool that I'm making money off some videos, and if it's popular enough, well, that will tell me that not only will it make some good money, I'll be honest, because my channel is monetized, but that mainly tells me that I'm doing something that people are actually entertained or interested in. So that tells me that I'm doing a good job. Pretty much all I'm here for is that I want to entertain people. That was the whole reason why I wanted to join YouTube. It wasn't because now everyone's trying to, not everyone, but a lot of people are trying to make money off YouTube, and they think that, oh, I'm going to be extremely successful off this, and chances are probably not going to be like Markiplier or
it's
anything
hard.
like that.
It's really hard now. Yeah.
I had just cleared enough money to pay for my Soundwave after 3 months of this.
Yeah, if you think you're gonna make it, it's hard, especially with Transformer. Transformer reviewers. There's a lot of them now. There's a lot of reviewers now and everything. So if you think that you're gonna make it rich doing this, you might need to think about that. And so
Fortnite's where it at.
I was going to say, like, literally, I don't make hardly a damn thing a year off of this, but, I don't do it for the money. I do it for having fun, and to me, too, is like, it's capturing things for my kids, too. I mean, I do not just, videos and stuff like this, but we also do stuff with the kids and stuff on our channel, too, which that's kind of sucks now because of the way YouTube is because of the new rules they put into place. It's like I used to go out and hunt with my kids. And a lot of channels now are getting their comments turned off, so you can't even interact with your subscribers anymore because of the children. And I understand they're protecting the kids. I understand that. Don't get me wrong. But to me, I mean, it's like I should be able to go out and do stuff with my kids and not be penalized for it if I want to. I should at least get the option to do that. Um, and I'm in the same way as Matt is when it stops becoming fun, I'll hang it up. But it's going to be.
I got a message that said, I just saw your video. Your NAGA hat sales are going through the roof.
What was you saying? I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I'm saying too. Is
Where's my hat, Jason? Where's my hat?
It's on the way. It's on the way. Now, Matt, Nathan, what are you talking about with the kids? What's stopping it? Because I do a lot of stuff with Dylan. What's going on with?
So a lot of channels are now having comments shut off on their channels permanently. So you can't communicate with your other subscribers because of kids. And the reason is they're trying to protect the kids from any kind of predatory, or trolls and stuff like that. But to me, that's kind of overkill. As a person who runs your channel, you're going to see it. You can delete those comments, or you can report those, to YouTube, versus just shutting it off. I had got a good friend, Mike the Hunter, who his whole channel, it's about him and his kids and his family. They go hunting, they do stuff like that, and now he can't comment anymore at all. So it's kind of like if you can't interact with your subscribers and the content you're doing, you're only getting views. You're not getting that interaction piece.
That's what I enjoy doing. I'm checking my comments all the time to see what people say about it. I'm with, I'm all about entertaining people anymore. I really like to add something different, and I like to hear what people have to say.
That's true.
Same here. I mean, I get a lot of doozies. I'll tell you, I get some doozies in them comments, but a lot of times I get a lot of good feedback too. And to me, I enjoy having that kind of feedback back and forth. But the other thing too, though, is that they're gonna have to change how they do business. It's not. I mean, one example is they're getting rid of Google Hangouts. Eventually we're gonna go to a new platform. So.
Wait,
that should fix some things, but that's the catch-22 is that we don't know when that's going to happen. Um, there's been talk about OBS software to be used instead, open broadcast streaming. That is an option you can use now. But the catch is like we just don't know. One of the things I don't like, and it took me a long time to get used to, is YouTube Beta Studio. Trying to figure out where everything goes, where everything does. Henceforth, Live doesn't even work with it correctly yet, so I have to go through Creator Classic to make it work.
They've
And
tweaked
I
it a
think
little bit. There's some things that I couldn't find that I can now find pretty easy on it because I like putting those little end caps on at the end of my videos where people can link, and I had a hell of a time finding those, but now they have a drop down box where you can find them right off the bat now.
I'll be right back.
My studio's been down all day too, but I was going to ask you, how do y'all put like links in the middle of the video? I've tried to watch YouTube videos and everything. Like I wanted to link up like if you want to talk about something.
that's the cards. So if you click the cards thing on in YouTube Studio, where you see in screen, and then you see cards, and you click cards, then when you get to that point in your video, you'll hit add a card, and then when you add that card, it'll say do you want to do a channel, a video, or whatnot. Then you have to put the link in there, and then you have to put 2 descriptions into it, like check out blah blah blah's channel. So copy and paste in both blocks. So like if you look at my my haul video I just did, I did cards in there throughout the video.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on that same screen. The cards are actually easier to find than the end screens, but they're really easy. Once you figure it out, it's really easy. You'll just watch your video, and I think I did it with my G2 Megatron. I was like, hey, if you want to see this full review, check out my Siege Megatron. So you find that point, you pause, add the card. So as soon as I say that, that's when it'll pop up.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Okay. All right. I'll have to mess around with it. I haven't.
It's kind of tricky because they call it cards, and for cards you think of something big, not that little line. So
yeah. Okay. I got you. Thank you.
Well, it's just like the end screens. You know, I typically do a video, and then I'll do my little subscription button. You know, same thing.
I do that too. Yeah.
I do newest release, best for viewer, and subscription. I used to fill the whole thing up. Now just do those 3.
Yeah, I usually only do the subscription, the last video, and maybe a playlist. You know, depending on what it is. But the only problem with cards, though, is that you only get to do 5 of them. So, like, if I'm doing a massive haul video, that doesn't work so well.
Yeah. I don't do like massive hauls or anything. I don't do really long videos, so I don't think that'll be too much worrisome for me. So, yeah, your last one was 30 minutes. I was like, damn, I should put some work on this one. Jesus.
Well, and here's the thing: I don't edit nothing either. You know, if it literally on those, they just go to the go. Like it's funny is like I remember getting the message on my phone saying you're at your limit of this video. It's going to restart at the next clip. Okay, I'm all right with it. I don't care. You know, now I'll do editing after the fact. You know, after the video's done. You know, but I'm like, no, whatever is, and if not, it's a clip at the end for an outtake. You know. But let's get back to topic. We went to YouTube land for a while. Let's go back to TFCON. So I wanted to kind of ask, what were you guys' favorite reveals that you guys saw from this last weekend?
Mine was that it's going to be in Reston in October. Yay. No. My favorite reveal probably from the third-party panel. God, I hate to say it, probably the Astro Train. But I don't know. I don't think it's gonna get made. But the Astro Train is pretty cool. I don't care about the combiners because I'm going Zeta. So if I do get the Fanstoids one, they're gonna be my bot modes probably, especially the Stunticons. What else was good that I saw? What really a lot. I mean, there was the Iron Factory stuff was really good. I love Iron Factory. They show some new age stuff. I'm really excited. They didn't show Magic Square. I was going to ask y'all. They didn't show a lot of companies like Magic Square. DX9 didn't show anything. X Transbots didn't show anything. No. Some of the bigger ones did not show anything. And it could be it was a short turnaround from the October one, so they maybe didn't have time to get stuff in, and everything. And that the last 2 or 3 years they've been really lackluster, anyways, with the reveals. They're just not revealing stuff like they used to. So that could have been a reason. But yeah, we didn't see a lot of stuff from big companies, and it's kind of weird. But hopefully in October we'll see some more stuff. Since it's like 6 months away.
Excuse me.
All right. What about you, Jason?
Well, honestly, I kind of skipped over the third party because I'm not big into third party collectors. But my favorite reveal was the fact it's coming to Reston, and maybe, just maybe, I can make it to TFCON.
Yay!
Yay! Patriot
Right.
Prime needs to show up.
Well, I'll tell you one of the coolest things I saw there was that Zeta Predaking. Holy crap! I mean,
Yeah, golly, I'm
I
excited.
saw that picture. I was like, I'm sold. I'm done. I'm getting it. I mean, I don't own any Zeta today because I was waiting on the fans' toys, for the Stunticons and for
Oh,
Superior.
you're missing out, man. You're missing out.
I
They know
know.
how to do combiners, man. They are good combiners. That Superion is beautiful.
Now, I did see a reveal today that Infinite Transformation is going to do their version of MP Dinobot.
I did see that too.
Yeah, that's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
Dude, I've got their Megatron. That thing rocks.
Yeah.
Hey, I will say,
I think
I've messed with the Infinite Transformation Megatron. It was better than the original MP36 for some of the pieces on it.
I don't hear that mess. Get out of here. Come on now.
La 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 la.
Nathan, he's wonderful. I really, really love it. He was my top figure for 2018. Fantastic, great mold.
The Raiden also looked interesting. I'm not a big, I think it's Victory or was it Master Force? I think Raiden was in. That looked pretty cool. It's kind of weird. Zeta does the part forming thing, with the feet and the main body and everything. But this, they showed the leg mold and it didn't look like it was part forming. They just straight, everything. So it's kind of weird that they're going that way. I hope it can, hold, be sturdy enough, over the years, because Zeta's with the parts forming thing, man, they're really sturdy. So, but yeah, the Raiden looked pretty good too.
Well, and that's what I think was concern was is that it wasn't the same way they were doing, the other combiners. Okay, because like I've messed with the Bruticus, I've messed with Kronos, and of course with the other ones, and it's like just that build quality of a combiner. They make fantastic combiners as a combined version. They have issues, as alt modes and as bot modes, but what company doesn't though? I mean, when we get down to brass tacks, I mean, three modes is hard to do perfectly. You're going to always have to give up one of them, typically. Fans Toys are doing a phenomenal job, with this Minosaur and with the Superion looking. But these are just pictures too. We have not seen it in hand. We don't know how it's going to be quality wise, once it's together. The Zeta Bruticus combined mode looks phenomenal, and I don't think nobody can really touch it. Henceforth, I don't think nobody's really did Devastator since Toy Worlds did it, because that is Devastator, Fans always gave us a teaser for Devastator. Was it a year or two ago? They gave us a teaser silhouette.
Oh, yeah, the silhouette. Yeah, the silhouette. Yeah. I don't think that's coming. Well, it may. I mean, I think it matters how good the sales are going to be for these two if they're going to do combiners. If and when we get those.
But here's my question: where the hell is my Computron? And my Defensor?
Yeah, I was hoping instead of Raiden, they were showing Defensor. I was really hoping for a Defensor. Oh well, I'm sure that I think they're going to do all the combiners eventually, but yeah, I would have loved to seen a Defensor or a Computron or a Abominus. That would have been pretty cool.
I'm personally tired of third-party combiners in general, like the main ones at least, because they've been done so much. Every time I see that, oh, here's a new one, it's like, great, looks like the same as some of the other ones. Like I'm not strong into third-party anyways, so there's that. But I just kind of prefer seeing different things rather than, hey, Devastator again, Superion again, Menosaur again,
Yeah.
Well,
I just
and
feel
that's
like there's
catch
a bigger
22.
market out there that could be expanded, and it's just kind of doing the same thing over and over again.
Like I'd like to see a Monstructor done, and
Hmm.
that we'll never see it unless Fans Hobby or somebody else does it. Because you got to remember, most of these third-party companies are focused on G1. They're not focused on outside the box, RID, car robots, and Armada and stuff. Until now, where Fans Hobby started, Make Toys started with Cybertron stuff, with their Galaxy Meteor. They had teased a Galaxy Convoy a long time ago, and still have not seen anything on that. I think we're going to see stuff like that. It's just going to take time. I can assume, and this makes an ass out of me, all of us, that a Baldigus should be coming out soon. Because if you've already got Bruticus in the Zeta colors, they showed off the recolored version of the Zeta Bruticus. You're going to get a Baldigus recolor of them, eventually for G2. Um, so
Maybe they could do that as an exclusive or whatever box set. Fig Life asks, what's more important for you guys, quality or eye candy? Hmm.
I want both.
Yeah, I was thinking taco something commercial where the little girl's like, "Why not both?"
Well, I mean, it matters what kind of collector you are. If you are a collector that, you know, doesn't transform your stuff, doesn't, just gets it out of the box and puts it up on the shelf and wants to look good, you're an eye candy kind of guy. And then quality, wise, I think I would probably have to say quality because I mess around with my stuff and I don't collect just third party. I don't collect, masterpiece scale. I collect legends. I collect, chug. I collect everything. So, like you said, I would like both, but I would like a quality transformer, I guess, better than, well, I don't say, I say that, but I also want something to look good on the shelf too.
This
But
is
yeah,
the reason why I don't buy third party or the really expensive Transformers, is because I feel like if something breaks, I'm screwed. If it's got terrible quality and I can't transform or mess around with it, I'm pretty much screwed. I'm so happy and lucky with the Alien Attack Barrage that I ended up paying about $80 for it. And it's about deluxe to Voyager size, but it's got so many parts where I'm kind of worried that it's going to snap. Thankfully, I haven't broke anything, and I think it's a good toy. But like with Siege, some of the figures might have certain things that look off, but I can mess around with this easily, and the quality is there. And this is one of my favorite Megatrons right now that I've got in Generations. Totally tops the freaking leader class one that we got before.
Well,
And see, I've got that perfect example of eye candy. This is the exclusive third party from TFCON, painted, very, very fragile. I can never transform it. It looks good on the shelf, but that's it. It's just a display piece.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, and that goes back to the ultimate question always is, do you transform your toys or do you display your toys only? And I think most of us in this panel all agree we all like to play with our toys. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't get it to look good as well, but you're going to pay a little bit more for it. Because, like me, I mean, it's like I have Hydra, and I have Rouge, and I have Coot, all from Fans Toys. Hydra, I can mess around with, and I'm not really worried about it because I tightened his knees. He's good to go. But like Rouge and Coot, which is RC and Cup, I ain't transforming those guys again. They're done. They're display pieces because of the quality control issues that were with those ones. Um,
it's not fun
and
either.
that's hell. I'll sit there and fidget around with these guys, all day. These little mega constructs, because I ain't worried about that. Heck, if it falls apart, I'd put it right back together.
That's funny you
But
say that because Transformers, mega constructs.
right? And that's the catch 22 is that it's got to be something you can play with, something to mess around with. But then it goes back to flame toys. You look at flame toys, you look at 3A, you look at those kind of things. They make amazing display pieces. My Hot Toys Optimus made an awesome display piece. Had made sold because here's the reason why is that there was no Megatron to go with him, so it didn't really have a presence like I would really want it to. That Star Saber combined with that Victory Saber, that's a presence piece, and that's going to be a good display piece. But it comes down to really, it's what you want as a collector. What do you want for your collection? You know, do you want something to play with? Do you want something to display? You got to make that decision your own self.
That's why I love Masterpiece Barricade so much, because I have no problem transforming it, and it looks beautiful, especially in the alt mode. Love the look of this thing. I'm so happy. This is one of my favorites from last year.
Oh yeah, I mean, he definitely overlooked, and you know the Studio Series borrowed some of the engineering from that Masterpiece.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Studio Series Ironhide, and that has a couple of things that look off, like the bumper and torso. But that's one of my favorites of Studio Series.
What's a toy collector's worst nightmare? Walking down the aisle of your local store, seeing a full stock of figures and not having any money in your wallet.
It's like a Twilight Zone episode.
I would say flooding or an earthquake.
Unsupervised children.
I was going to say all of my kids in my room playing with my toys, and I'm not in the room. That's a bad day. I'm worried about something getting eaten or chewed, and I'm like, shit, that just cost me $100 to go find a gun.
Have you seen the video I did of Dylan when he was 2 years old? He's in my room, and where I'm training him, you look with your eyes and not your hands. He's almost 5 and has never touched anything on that shelf back there. I've trained that child since day one.
With the whip. No.
Hey, you have your methods. I have mine.
Well, and it's the same way in my room. I mean, my kids, they know when they come in my room, don't touch daddy's stuff. And the reason being, this is probably going to be your stuff, you know, when I get older. Or I
Do not
retire.
touch daddy's stuff.
All right, I got another story for you. I was going to share this on Facebook the other day, but I figured some of my family would think it was morbid. So Dylan's in here with me the other day while I'm doing a review, and he's looking at my figures. I just recently got a complete Pretender Grimlock. So I gave Dylan the shell, the human shell. So he's looking at the other figures, and he sees Snarler. He says, Daddy, can I have that pig shell? I says, no, he's mine, but one of these days, all of these will be yours. And he goes, well, when's that? I said, well, when I'm dead and gone. Well, how much longer is that going to be? Might be some Game of Thrones shit going on here before too long.
He wants to be raised by Transformers.
Nice.
Well, I mean, it always does raise a good question. It's like, how long are we going to collect? Probably till the day I die. I mean, that's just who I am. You know, literally, they'll be making G1 Optimuses when I'm 95 years old. You know, I'll be like, I gotta get that one. It's a new one.
It's $300 and it doesn't come with the fist trailer or the gun.
Its pinky finger can move.
Oh, I would love if there's just a new version of Optimus Prime that Dakar does a whole show for, and it's just its pinky moves.
It wasn't Dana Carvey did a stand-up about kids and action figures. Says, but son, you already have this one. I said, no, Dad, I've got the one with the hand like this. This one has the hand like this.
Actually, you're not far off the point. If you think about it, how many of us have did that? How many of us have bought a recolor of a figure? Just
Seekers?
Yeah, Seekers, you name it. You know, we've all done that. Oh, there's like Cogman. I'm trying to get the Studio Series Cogman. There is no physical difference of that thing other than some color and paint on it from the last night one.
There should be no point in me getting this one because I already have the first edition. But in my defense, I really love Transformers Prime. So.
Well, and that's the thing is like we've all done it, you know. I had the Titans Return Getaway, the white one, which is just a repainted chrome dome.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Look at all the recolors I have.
I went to a toy fair and I bought in package Cliff Jumper first edition for $30, and then that same day, I bought the first edition Cliff Jumper out of box, and so I have one in box and out of box. I was gonna open the box one, but then I thought, nah, there's one out of box. Might as well just take that.
Fig Life, Fig Life Miami says we should call ourselves the old ass collectors. All the OAC instead of AOC.
Exactly. Well,
Apparently, I'm old.
Hey, I'm to somebody.
well,
I turned 19, and my younger cousin was like, "Oh, you're old." I'm like, "What? When did this start happening? I'm turning into my parents. I'm going bald."
Here's another one we got. Have any of you guys gotten any mouth from your wives about your toys?
Oh.
Nope.
I don't have a wife.
I have. I raised my hand. She saw the pimp hand, and she's like, "Yeah, that's strong."
Mine's asleep. I remember. I remember one time I bought a gun for a G1. It was a ridiculous price, and by doing so, I bounced the checkbook. So I kind of got lit into for that one.
Ooh. Yeah, I would assume. I would assume. Yeah, for that one.
Yeah.
Um.
But a lot of times here anymore, especially since we have Dylan, we'll go down the toy aisle and his action figures he likes is in the same aisle. He'll grab one. I just kind of casually throw one of mine in the buggy too, and off we go. But before we got married, I hid this stuff. Nobody really knew I collected. Back then, it wasn't cool. Nobody was doing YouTube. Here I am, the guy in the service, like you in the Army, kind of collecting Transformers. I remember going in the stores. Say some hot girl will be working the cash register and I'm putting down the Beast Wars or whatever it was at the time. Yeah, I'm getting that for my little brother. It was all hid. And I remember when we started dating there, she finally found the rooms like, well, I didn't know you did this. So it was pretty cool. But it was kind of embarrassing back in the day, but now it's loud and proud.
Well, and it's like for me, I've never hid any of this. Like anybody that's been with me, they knew exactly what they were getting into. And that's the thing is like my wife and I, we both collect. She collects things that she likes, like pops and 80s stuff. And I collect Transformers and you name it, in this room. But I mean, you have to be a parent with your wife or with your significant other because if you're going to be hiding stuff,
You have.
huh?
What kind of relationship do you have? You got to be a parent to your wife.
Transparent, not a parent. But what I'm saying is that you've really got to be able to do that. I mean, because if you're hiding it and stuff like that, that's just going to cause you more problems down the road. Just be open and honest about it. And then it's going to save you a lot of hassle, a lot of trouble, and make each other happy. Don't worry about it.
And of course, he understands now. Of course, most people do. There's no difference in this back here than if I collected sports shit or NASCAR or anything like that. This is what I do. There's a lot worse things somebody could be doing out there.
Yeah, I remember my first date with my wife. Now, I told her, I was a collector and everything, but she was like, that's fine, that's cool, all that stuff and everything, but she didn't know how much of a collector I was. So when she finally saw the collection, she's like, "Oh my god!" And this was 10 years, 10 years ago almost. So my collections have gotten really a lot bigger. So when she saw everything, she's like, "Wow! I knew you were a collector, but I didn't know you was a collector."
My wife actually designed this room, all the shelves and stuff. That was her.
Nice.
Well, I asked my wife the same thing. I was like, "Hey, where do you think this stuff would look better at?" And the only glaring thing is I got a white shelf that I need to switch out to black. That's about it. But yeah, I mean, it's really just to be having fun with it, And if you can't have fun with, like, literally, I got toys in here 30 years old, since I was a kid. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, it's true. All right.
Somebody else has something. This is fun.
I always like questions and answer time. Hey, I got a dislike. So somebody watched it, didn't like it.
Woo! That's how you know you're successful.
That's right.
Yeah,
But
that was me. I'm sorry. I hit the dislike button. Sorry.
I know, right?
You
I can't like my own or
I
dislike my own
accidentally hit the
video.
dislike button with all my Google accounts.
No, but I mean, like I said, collecting's fun. We all have a good time doing it. You know, you got to be responsible about it. Be responsible adults about it. You know, enjoy it. But other than that, though, the back to the main topic of the discussion tonight, TFCon, and conventions in general. We all go to them. We all have a good time. And what I would hope is that one day all of us could be in one convention room at one time, but that's hard because we're all in different parts of the country, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not
So,
even in the country.
exactly. I got Brian in Canada. Ain't no way I'm going to Canada right now.
All in every group. He's
I'm
the one.
that ruined it, just like my parents' marriage.
Wow, that went dark.
Yeah, harsh, man.
I would love to. I wanted to go to the LA one and everything, and kind of glad I didn't because I'm really looking forward to I know most of the people out here on the East Coast and everything. So, but I would love to. I mean, I went to two BotCons out there in Pasadena and everything. It's really it's not there. We was planning on going to San Diego this year, but I don't think we're gonna make it. But yeah, I definitely, my wife would love to go out there and definitely try to. I don't know if y'all gonna. I'm sure y'all will get another TFCon. I hope y'all do. For more years to come and everything. So hopefully, maybe I can make it out there to one of them. It'd be really cool.
I would love to meet you in person, Matt.
Oh yeah. Oh, you will in October. Interested.
Yeah, after I drop $100 on Mortal Kombat, not $100, honey. I'm not buying that one. Just in case you watch this. And we'll start to get my little fund here and start dropping in some money. We'll stay out.
I'll definitely be at the Reston one. Hopefully, I say that, but I don't know. But I'm 95% sure that I'm going to be there. So.
I'll start making some plans. See if I can line up some people. Maybe do what we did before. Get about 4 of us and try to.
Oh, you can always find. Yeah, you can always definitely find people that want a room. To save on money and everything. That won't be any problem at all, man.
And the hotel.
And I will say that was my favorite thing about being at the hotel where the con was at. Mm-hmm. It was so damn convenient to go to the dealer room, walk my butt right through the hotel and drop it in my room and go back. Yep. I mean, now the only catch was paying for parking every day at the hotel, while my car didn't go nowhere for almost 3 days.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was so convenient, to have it right there versus having, when you get your hands get full, all right, you better go run to your car and drop it off. And that could be a long way away. I will say it was well worth it, in my perspective.
Oh, yeah. It always is. All right. So I guess we're done.
We're going to close it up for shop tonight. We've been on for almost 2 hours, guys.
Hey, and I made it past midnight.
Yeah, and you're still awake this time.
I'm not going to work tomorrow. I got a sick kid.
Oh. But
yeah, got that damn stomach bug that's going around here.
Yeah, it's been going around here too. That flu's been chaotic. It's been lasting a long time around our house.
Thank God I'm vaccinated.
I'm not. All right. So this is, like I said, this was our TFCon edition of Transformers Unite. I don't know what our next one will be about. We'll figure out something. We do this every couple of weeks or once a month. Whenever we figure out when we want to do it. So thank you everybody that came out. Figure Life Miami, Tech Chucker, T-Man, everybody that came out tonight. Thank you guys for coming out. We really appreciate each and every one of you. So the panel, where can we find you guys at? Starting with Jason.
Starts with Jason. Well, I am Patriot Prime Reviews. And of course, you can find me on YouTube with that same channel name. I go over Generation 1, Toy Hacks labels, and modern figures if I can find them at my Walmart. Hooah!
All right, Matt.
You can find me at Hell Hasbro Reviews. I'm also under Deluxe. I'm on another podcast called Sharecast Uncut, and we're a Transformer podcast and everything. You can find me on Instagram at Hell_Hasbro_Reviews. And you can find me on the Facebook groups all around under Matthew Baldwin. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Everybody hit that like button. It helps the channel out a lot. So help Nate out some.
I know, right? I need all the help I can get. And Brian, where can people find you at?
In Canada.
That's true.
In Canada, that's it. Just find him in Canada.
He can be found in Bone Crusher's eyes.
Sorry, I fell in love.
Apparently,
I
this is about to get weird.
know.
Cynical porn.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Brian here from TFan Page 101. That's my channel. You like Transformers related things? Well, guess what? We got Transformers related content, and it's super rad. We've got reviews that you can check out. Starting to trend now. We got reviews you could check out where I do the funny joke. You like Jobby? Well, get ready for Discount Jobby. And then we've also got other videos like toy hauls. I got an unboxing coming soon. That's going to be swoosh off the hook.
Now that's an exit. I can't really beat that much. But I did want to say hi to W before I get off. This is my channel, Nathan Simmons. If you do a YouTube search in there, look for the dude with a Rodimus Prime logo, not the pastor. That's the first one you're always going to find. But you can also find me on Instagram at Nathan_S82. So that is where you can find me at. And that's pretty, and you'll find me on Facebook, you know. But just like I said, this has been Transformers Unite TFCON edition tonight. Thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate you, Brian, Matt, and Jason. And we'll see you guys in the next one. All right, people. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.
Bye-bye.